hey, 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 boom, 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 boom. Hey, 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 boom, 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 boom. Oh, what you say, boom, 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 boom. Oh, what you say, boom, 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 boom. Oh, they know me. How can't you see? Now, we're going to do a couple quick videos today. We're going to be looking at some crazy shit. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go through my watch later, see if there's anything fucking worth the shit. Oh, God. I've already watched that. I haven't watched the Femcell movie yet, but I don't have time for that. I have a minuscule amount of time today. I'm gonna reset this. I need to put a couple new ones in here. Actually, yeah, there is some stuff I wanted to do. Right here. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go over this Going Postal documentary trailer. I'm really excited that they're making a documentary on Postal. I think it's one of the most impactful games ever made. It's one of the most, at least, controversial games ever made. If you don't know a lot about the Postal series, the first Postal was a top-down kind of twin stick shooter. It was just this twin stick shooter where you went around and you killed like cops and stuff. You can kill civilians, but you don't have to. But I mean, everybody threw a grenade into the marching band. That's just something else. Postal 2 is where the series really elevated itself and became something much more awesome. Postal 3 is the hated one, and then Postal 4 was the one that got me into the series. Postal Brain Damage was a spin-off to fucking the best game in the series.
This is Mike J from Running with Scissors. You're about to watch the trailer for Going Postal, The Legacy Foretold.
I like everybody involved with the studio. They're just such a fun indie studio that just seems to have fun with what they do.
There aren't many games that have had FBI involvement, being sued by the government, condemned in a dozen countries. So that probably does...
Yeah, dude, they're in like a... I know that people hate when I pause so much, but I just like that... I don't think people understand the pedigree of how many games get this much hate and attention. It's like these guys and Grand Theft Auto. It's really not... I mean, these guys even got hit a little harder than Grand Theft Auto. Like, Hatred got a lot of controversy, but not this much.
Single us out.
Video games like Postal.
Going Postal.
Going Postal. New video game. It's called Postal.
Going Postal means shooting everyone in sight. There's nothing funny about it.
But man, the Postal turned it up to 11.
Felt like we were doing something that we were not supposed to.
Their whole premise is so over the top. It's so ridiculous.
Set a whole bunch of shit on fire at once.
Dude, it's so great. That's a real person. You know what's funny, too? Postal actually has a really good movie, too, and it's made by a guy who never makes good video game movies, like Yuri Braun or whatever his name is. He's made, like, the worst video game adaptations of all time. He's, like, the fucking worst at video game adaptations. But the movie for Postal is bad, but it's, like, bad in the way that you would expect a Postal movie to be, and it makes it fucking amazing. And it's just like something that everything that's had to do with Postal, except for Postal 3, I haven't played it. I don't know how it holds up. I know it wasn't made by Running with Scissors, so I really don't want to play it. But at the same time, I love everything that they've put out as a team and like the spin-offs and stuff. I just really think that there's something special in this series and then their ability to fight from death, because after Postal 2 they really didn't do anything, and they were contracted by the Russian Russia EA to make Postal 3, and then they were kind of cut out of their own IP. Now the IP still remained with them, but the game for Postal 3 was totally in the power of this Russian company, and it ended up becoming a fucking shit show. It's third person. It's gobbledygook machine. It's got no giggity schmoodle. I don't know, dude. I'll play it one day. I heard that there's a Postal 3 first person in development, like a mod for the Postal 3 game, or it's like modding Postal 2 to become Postal 3 as first person. So I'm very interested to see that. I would love to see Postal 3 revived in a way that's like nice. These games are never, like, if you're going into Postal expecting, like, a polished gaming play experience, you're not going to the right series. The only games that I would say are really polished would be Postal 1, Redux, and Postal Brain Damage.
What do they say to the family members who have experienced a murder?
It's a game.
Now explain to me what's entertaining about that.
There was a video game called Postal. We just ran around shooting people.
Germany just removed all of our games off of Steam. Talk about, like, Nazi regime coming back again.
I do know that is.
Bro, I always think it's funny when people conflate, like, Nazism to things, and like falsely, but like when there's like mass censorship, that's something that regime did, you know. It was something that like when you were like fully censoring stuff because you disagree with it is wrong. I've always agreed it's wrong. I think if you like go out there and you're like, I don't like it because it has like a bias toward this direction or that direction, I don't think that's okay. You can clown on something. You could be like, oh, Postal's garbage because I don't like the message it sends. Cool. Nobody fucking cares. And then it's like the same thing when I bitch about some game with like some DEI writing or millennial bullshit. It's like, well, nobody fucking cares. It's one of those things that like you can have your opinion. Your opinion can be valid in your own head because everybody's opinion only matters to themselves. And even with like having platforms and having these things where people will come and listen to me, it's one of those things that it's like, sure, my opinion goes out there, but that doesn't mean that it's valid. It just means that people like me and want to listen to the garbage that I spew on the internet. It's like I got that big giggity schmoodle in my pants. Actually, it's really small, but I don't know. It's one of those things because it's like I hate when things get banned. I hate censorship in media because of the fact that I feel like we get too safe and everything becomes too desensitized. I think it's what's happened to the music industry in a really bad way because like country music and rap music are like two great examples that they've almost became parodies of themselves.
Played it, I grew to dislike it more and more and find it really, really awful.
All right, they want to fuck. We're gonna fuck.
Based, bro. Oh my god, dude. Well, this is a badass trailer.
Hey, everybody should buy my book, How to Fire an Employee Without Making Him Go Postal.
They are literally the definition of insanity.
I knew I was involved in something kind of fucking crazy.
Violent, funny, crazy, stupid. I left it.
Critics are calling it...
That was the director of the Postal movie, which is his best movie, hands down. It's the only one of his movies that's even fucking watchable. It's like... It's so crazy because it's sitting at like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or stuff, but you look at every other movie he hit, I don't think they break 10%. But that movie is just perfect. It is a perfect fucking Postal movie, and if you disagree, go get mad in my fucking comments section, and I don't care. It's fucking amazing, dude. It really bricks me up in a weird way.
One of the most violent computer games that they've ever created.
I know there are a lot of people that really wish we would go away, but it's never going to happen.
Postal 2 is the worst product ever foisted upon consumers.
He probably didn't even...
Pussy, you're a pussy. You like to be fucking shoved into a corner while your wife dicks down other dudes. You can't handle fun. You don't deserve fun. Postal took what GTA was doing, said, fuck you, dude. We're gonna take it a step further. GTA was over there like, yeah, you can kill everybody, and yeah, you can do all that things. Postal was like, taking the thing that made Postal more fucking crazy than like GTA. Well, at least the first Postal is actually kind of dark and kind of like sad. There's like Postal lore that I will get to on this channel. One of these days I'm gonna do like a Postal 1 lore dive because like the game itself isn't really my type of game. I play it on my Switch every once in a while when I'm watching TV. It's fun enough. But it's one of those I want to do a Postal 1 deep dive. But like Postal 2 and Postal 4, the thing that's glorious about Postal is you're living in a world of the mundane, which we all live in. And it's what point do you go Postal? That's what's funny about it, because it's so over the top mundane bullshit and just like having a bad day and then you just fucking go Postal. It's what's your breaking point? Because you can play Postal 1 and wait in every line. You can just be like okay with everything. You don't have to kill anybody. But at what point do you do it? What point do you just start smoking crack and killing hookers? That's the greatness about Postal, and that's what makes it so much different than like your Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto usually has a story with like a crime guy and you're doing the crimes and whatever, and it has a point. Postal is just chaos to embrace the chaos. It's like it's that 90s humor darkness that like has kind of been washed out of society because they've deemed it too offensive.
Play the game.
You too.
The phrase going postal gives all of us a black eye. It's a real insult to us.
We're not really going to publish this, are we?
Oh, this is going to piss off your viewers, isn't it? Oh, well.
Dude, and they're so So I actually follow the Running with Scissors on Twitter, and they sometimes they post some really funny shit, and they also just don't give a fuck. They do get a little annoying with their whole, I don't know, it's like this fucking, they do this whole like shit on Postal 3 thing, and it gets really fucking annoying. But dude, I just really love and they really cultivate to their the community. They're always like pushing community mods and stuff on the world. They're not like pushing them, but they like embrace them. They embrace them in a really cool way. I've always really appreciated Running with Scissors as a company, as a vibe. They're just fucking great, dude. It's just they're a cool studio. They literally will go out of their way to be like, oh, you guys want to make a bunch of different Postal games? Let's have a competition to see who's the best. It's just neat stuff. I've always been a really big fan. But that's it. They have a documentary coming out. I'm very interested to see this. I think that if there's any game that like Doom, you've had like the FPS documentaries, but I think Postal is just such a chaotic embryo of itself that it's something beautiful that we need to see. So that is going to be something that I'm interested in. All right, how much time do I got? I got about 30 minutes. So, link between Sonic and autism explained. Yeah.
Perry, I will.
So, I'm sure we all know the Sonic community's always been chaos, always been a little cringe, and there has been a overlining feature of autism plus Sonic. It has always been a thing. It is, I don't know what it is. I've always been curious about it. I mean, we all know about Christian. We all know about the chaos. And then when this video popped up in my feed, I knew that I had to, I had to slop on it. I had to slop on its cock on it. You know what I mean? It's something I needed. I need to know. I need the information. I need the lore.
ASD and Sonic the Hedgehog. From what I've seen on the internet, there is a clear trend between the two. From content to memes to people just flat out asking, what is it with autistic people and Sonic? And this piqued my curiosity. So I decided to do some research in order to truly explain the link between Sonic the Hedgehog and autism spectrum disorder. For this video, I decided to split my findings into 3 different topics. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I should probably explain what autism exactly.
So I wonder if it's going to go into like the furry fandom and stuff too, because there's I have nothing against the furries. I think they're cringe. I don't want them near me, but at the same time, like, do whatever the fuck you want. You're a grown adult. Who fucking cares? But there has been I remember reading somewhere that there is a huge tie between furries and autism as well, and I think it's just that general innocence of that mindset of like loving like cute fuzzy things. And you take Mario, yeah, he's an Italian, so he's a fuzzy thing, but he's not as cute as something as like a Sonic, I guess. I don't know if this guy's gonna go into that, but we'll see.
Exactly is first. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a neurological disorder affecting the way a person socializes, behaves, and learns. The exact cause of autism is still unknown. However, scientists have found that it's typically genetic and can run in families.
Dude, I'm dead as fuck. Dude, you have Sonic autism running through your family at Mach G forces. Only Captain Eggman can stop it. And that's Alex Jones. I'm just kidding.
ASD can vary in type and severity in different people, hence why it's referred to as a spectrum disorder. The most highlighted symptoms usually include difficulty reading social cues, making little to no eye contact, talking on about a passionate subject despite other parties not being interested, and being more sensitive to sensory input, such as sight, sound, and taste. There are lots more symptoms that can vary from person to person, and can cause trouble for people with ASD to make friends or socialize, and if their disorder is severe, they may at times not be able to communicate at all. It's pretty common for someone to be diagnosed with ASD. According to the CDC, it affects approximately 1 in 36 people in the United States, and 1 in 100 worldwide. Autism is a common neurological disorder that affects one's form of communication as well as their senses. People with autism are often hard to communicate with, and the way to do so properly depends greatly on the severity of their disorder. However, it's still possible for an autistic person to excel at some activities.
Well, and here's the thing too. A lot of people with autism stuff find media to be like really important because they realize that they have trouble conversating with like real people, so then they escape to media to get their social interactions. And video games are a perfect escapism for that because they get to experience these interactions in a game and interact with them. And in a way that they get to experience like this like communication escapism, and then it also helps them with like better skills into the real world that they think that they can correlate. There's a lot of things that go into that, as well as like I don't know, any person I've ever known with autism loves themselves some cartoons. It's the colors, it's the vibrancy. There's a lot that goes along with it.
Activities most would find challenging.
Again, I'm not a fucking doctor. Not a doctor, guys. I'm just kind of an idiot that says shit online.
And that pretty much sums up the basics. Now that that's out of the way, it's time to get into the fun stuff. Sonic the Hedgehog. He and his friends need no introduction. Introduced in 1991, the series would go on to take the world by storm, spawning a long-running comics line, 7 television series, a multitude of attractions around the world, and even 3 blockbuster movies. Sonic is everywhere, and his bright blue color...
Excuse me? We don't know if the 3rd movie's a blockbuster yet? No, I'm just kidding. It's gonna break. It's gonna break fucking records. Sonic 3 looks fucking awesome. Sonic 1 and 2 were good movies. I don't care what you say. I think both of them are good movies. I think they're both better than the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I actually enjoyed that. I think we are in peak fucking video game adaptation time period right now. We finally broke through the Uwe Boll world. I know I glazed Uwe Boll in my last reaction commentary video about the fucking Postal thing, but that was his only good movie. For the rest of them, he just shit on every IP. But it's great to see that there's good adaptations coming out, and Sonic, I feel like, was one of the big forces, especially how they listened to fans and really worked the movie around feedback.
Gives him away pretty easily. Which brings me to my first topic, sensory appeal. Think to yourself, what is it that makes the Sonic series so iconic? Is it his super speed and his love for freedom? Or what about the huge and colorful beloved cast of characters? Or maybe it's the recognizable and catchy music that comes with every game? Well, what about all of those things? Because of autistic people's higher sensitivity to senses, they're in turn more sensitive to certain stimuli.
Bro, exactly what I was saying with cartoons. I'm just too stupid to put it in a very nice explained format as this guy. Thank you for doing the heavy legwork. I will keep making ass and taint jokes over on this end.
Making them more fixated on certain details or features. One of the most common findings in my research, more specifically when I googled the question up front, were the colors of the characters. Sonic has a very colorful cast. Almost every character has a certain color assigned to them, typically reflecting their traits. Let's take a look at the main crew, for example.
I mean, yes, this isn't. I know that it's like important to keep the different colors. What I think that Sonic did a little different than something like Mario as well is it didn't just take the colors, because the colors are important when choosing a video game character when you're going to play as them, because you need that distinct difference, especially in the pixelated era where everything looked like fucking gobbledygook asshole. But the thing that Sonic did so much different than Mario is it didn't just put a fucking green hat on its brother and say, this is Jerry the Hedgehog. The big difference was they completely crafted a new character with a new gameplay style, and they were like, yeah, this is Tails. Tails plays this way. This is Knuckles. He plays this way. And they were incredibly distinct. Like, you look at Tails, he's not going to be the sprinting machine. He's got the two tails so that he can fly. So he has a different play style. You got Knuckles. He's bigger on the chest. He's got the big hands with the spikes on him. You know that he's going to be tough. The only one that's kind of similarly looking is Shadow, but Shadow uses guns because he's a fucking Giga Chad.
Example. Sonic's blue, representing his love for freedom and justice. Tails is bright orange, his companionship and determination. Knuckles is red, his strength and anger. Amy's pink, her femininity and love. And Shadow's black, his dark past and inner pain. Some individuals with ASD may have trouble predicting the complex world around them. As they get familiar with characters such as those in Sonic the Hedgehog, they are able to easily read their cartoony facial features, and find not just predictability, but relatability as well, in their character design alone.
I think this is something that, it's hard. So you've seen, like, anime does it really well, but anime also does facial reaction and stuff really well because of the fact that they're almost animalistic designs on their features. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, the comparison between anime characters and, like, pictures of cats, but it's very, very similar. And it's why Disney, for so long, every one of their adaptations, for the most part, there was, like, not for the most part, but they had, like, their regular, like, Disney princesses and shit. But if you notice, they had a bunch of films that had to do with animals and stuff, and they would take IPs and then draft them, like fucking Lion King. You have Robin Hood, and the reason they do stuff with animals is it's easier to cartoonize their expressions compared to a regular person, because a regular person's something you understand, but you can go a little bit extra. You can push the envelope a little bit further with animal type designs, because it's already abstract in nature, because animals don't make these expressions. So these expressions are going to seem extra and over the top on these characters, which is probably why people with autism kind of are drawn to more cartoons dealing with animals and stuff like this.
And through this, they may find solace. You may find some individuals choosing their favorite character over other ones, with their color being a major factor as to why. And this can even branch beyond ASD. Someone may be comfortable with more overstimulating neon colors, like red, so they may be more intrigued by characters like Knuckles or Dr. Eggman, while those more comfortable with more calm colors, like purple, may find the most consolation in SBO or Big. Sonic's huge cast of characters...
Not gonna lie, it bothered the fuck out of me that he said, characters that are purple, and he had a blue fucking background. That is not purple, sir. Not purple, you motherfucker. Prince does not approve.
Their own identifiable color and personality can provide comfort and stimulation to people with ASD. This comfort has the possibility to easily lead someone with ASD into an introduction with the Sonic games. However, it can go beyond just the design of the characters. Sonic is known for the fact that each game has a quality soundtrack. Almost each game. Along with visual stimuli.
I was gonna say, bro, that was straight fucking ass. I don't even know what game that is. I haven't really played a lot of the Sonic games. The one that I want to play is the Shadow the Hedgehog one, because you can use guns. I remember seeing that game at like a fucking GameStop when I was a small child, and I was like, I want this game because I want to be a Sonic character that shoots guns. I thought it was a parody. I didn't know that much about Sonic, but yeah, that soundtrack was asshole.
People diagnosed with ASD can also be more sensitive to auditory stimuli, in turn allowing them to become more easily mesmerized in musical score. This can make listening to music feel more soothing and satisfying.
That is, if it isn't too loud. They are also sensitive to the volume.
Sonic's high-quality soundtrack, as a result, can easily draw in players with ASD. Iconic songs like City Escape, Sonic Heroes, and Live and Learn, as well as instrumental pieces.
Also, it's funny that Sonic just kind of fucking straight ripped off Dragon Ball Z. They were like, oh, look what Dragon Ball Z's doing. Well, Sonic is now Goku. He's blue fucking furry Goku. Goku now is going to furry cons and having weird furry sex. Let's go!
Like Emerald Coast, Kingdom Valley, and Studiopolis can play a significant part in enhancing the gameplay experience of someone with ASD. The memorable melodies, comforting rhythm, and non-verbal expression of these songs can help people with ASD escape from an overstimulating environment, in or outside of gameplay. Speaking of the gameplay, that too can add sensory appeal to the Sonic games. If you have a brainstem, you know that Sonic gameplay is often fast-paced and speedy.
Bro, I feel like this is offensive as shit to people without brainstems. Listen, people without brainstems out there, we don't give a fuck about you. If you don't enjoy Sonic, if you don't have a brainstem and can't figure out that Sonic likes to run fast and do cool things, you're fucking lame and nobody fucking likes you. Nobody cares about you. You're cringe. You're fucking lame.
Super fast gameplay can be very rewarding to certain autistic individuals. While some may find it too fast and too stimulating, others may find it perfect.
Dude, it's so fast and stimulating, I come every time. It's great, dude. This is why I don't play the Sonic games, dude. I just can't. I don't have enough new pairs of underwear to stop mine from getting crusty.
Other individuals with ASD may be more stimulated mainly by the aesthetic or the visuals of the more stylistic games, like Sonic Rush, Colors, or Generations. The Sonic series of video games has a load of potential in terms of sensory appeal for autistic individuals. The colorful and cartoony design of its characters, its high standard for music, and speedy but stylistic gameplay can all cater to people with ASD really easily. The majority of those diagnosed with ASD will find a soothing and stable experience in not just the games, but other forms of Sonic-related media as well, and likely get them hooked. Which brings me to my next topic, special interests. When talking about autism, you may have heard the phrase special interests pop up.
Better not be. Oh, no. This isn't Gullipy. This isn't Guptill. Because I watched that Guptill video where he fucking ranked the hottest Sonic characters, I have had a plethora of Sonic suggestions, and this is just a correlation between autism and Sonic, and this explains the Guptill video to an extreme. That Guptill was like a prime example of this. That quirky, fucking lightly autistic or highly autistic. I don't know the guy personally. I'm not gonna make fucking medical diagnoses on a guy on the internet. But it's one of those things that it's that correlation why people like that.
Here and there. These refer to activities or objects that people develop a strong fondness for. For people with autism,
Guptill, I got shooters in every state.
Special interests can develop very easily. For a combination of neurological reasons, individuals with autism can become so hyperfixated on certain ideas or topics that it, at times, may become harder for them to explore anything else. Whether it's a coping mechanism, a pathway for communication, or just something they're emotionally attached to.
I definitely covered the fucking path to communication. I think a lot of them hyperfixate on stuff like this because it's teaching them how it's showing them what interactions are like, so they then try to utilize those interactions in the real world. I also think that it's the camaraderie of the characters too, and all that really helps with the communication. There's a lot of everything he's saying is straight facts here. The colors, bright colored, goes fast, very distinctual characters, very distinctual in how they play and how they're designed. That really sets it apart from something like Mario. There's a lot of things. I mean, the fact that the Brony and furry fandom have a very high branching state of autism. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that there's so much in Sonic that really fucking lands, and it's why like most individuals, even there was that guy reacted to the Good Christian. He liked Sonic, but he also liked that other one, the cat one. I can't remember what it's called. You can let me know. But it's one of those things that it's just the animal stylist thing is just their expressions are so kind of fucking extra because animals don't usually have those expressions, that I think that it helps people with autism really understand those emotions and also kind of relate to them because of their weirdness, you know, because it almost feels like they're putting it on extra, and that's how people with autism feel. Now I'm going big brain science Superman Jeff over here. I'm fucking dropping my penis right on the counter and telling you exactly how it is because I'm a PhD in nothing.
Autistic people forming special interests is very common, and at times, it may be all they talk about.
Dude, Kingdom Hearts has a big... You're right. Kingdom Hearts has a really big fan base because of this. It's the camaraderie. You're right.
This is less of a reason as to why autistic people tend to be infatuated with Sonic, and more of a reason as to why it's so highlighted. If an autistic person has a special interest in something, they tend to show it. Often.
Today, we're checking out Once Human.
It's It's really interesting, the special interest, for sure. It's just like the hyper fixation on this type of stuff is really cool. I mean, I like it's cool in the fact that I've known people in my like life that had autism or whatever, and I didn't know many that were like hyper obsessed with Sonic. I knew them that were like, obsessed with other stuff, but it's always that's all they want to talk about, and that's their main interest. And like I used to like just listening to it, you know, because it's one of those things that it's just like you'll find out lore about a game that you didn't even know had lore because these people will tell you, and that's kind of cool to me because I like lore on stuff.
A significant amount of autistic individuals within the Sonic community, mixed with a desire to share their interests with others inside that community, can lead to the trend becoming more noticeable. Sonic games have a lot to talk about in terms of history, story, and game design. When an autistic person has a special interest, they tend to pour hours into exposing themselves to it and learning more. This provides a lot of room for communication for autistic individuals within the Sonic community, something that typically may be a challenge for them outside of it. Which brings me to my third and final topic: escape. It's no secret that video games can provide
I covered this. I covered how escapism is super important. And so not only when I said earlier in the video, it's about escapism and learning about that camaraderie and shit. This is exactly he's kind of laying out what I already kind of knew, but it's just kind of reaffirming my previous thoughts. And not that I'm some fucking Giga Chad super genius. I lick taints every Tuesday, so I'm fucking retarded, but it's one of those things that like escapism is super important, and I think we have a huge problem in today's media and in today's gaming where they have forgotten the importance of escapism and in trying to put their personal bullshit into the game. That's why you see a lot of games like Dragon Age Veilguard and shit fail, is because it's not caring about escapism anymore. And that's why in the last Sonic game I heard was really good and a lot of the Sonic fan base loved it, because it was that escapism that they'd been begging for.
A source of escape for many players, transporting them to a whole new world that isn't affected by issues that they may be encountering in their real one. Sonic is no different. With the social disadvantage that ASD causes, it's possible for some who are diagnosed to feel unwanted or like an outcast. With its symptoms, it most of the time becomes a challenge for those with ASD to make friends and engage with peers. As I said before, it's hard for them to read social cues, make eye contact, or know when to stop talking. Not only this, but the overstimulation of someone with ASD may influence their social experiences in a negative way. As a result, autistic people may turn to the...
Bro, this video just made a canon that Miles Morales is autistic. I'm just kidding, I don't think he is, but I just fuck off.
Aforementioned special interests in order to find comfort or escape, one of which may include video games. Video games provide a sense of control and predictability. When playing a video game, the player and the player alone is in control of the action. And if you're replaying a game, surprises are going to be less likely. When making a mistake in a video game, you're granted practically an infinite amount of opportunities to try and try again, lowering the pressure of failing a lot, especially for those with ASD. The rules are clear and simple. If you mess up, it's not the end of the world. If there's something you don't understand, you'd usually read the instructions or watch the tutorial again. And this goes beyond Sonic the Hedgehog. Super Mario, Rocket League, Fortnite, Persona, whatever it is, video games offer a virtual but controlled environment. As a result, those with ASD may find video games a place of safety. And
it's not just people with ASD. I mean, 100% any people without autism have want that same escapism, and like I said, that is a huge problem in the video game world today. Is it's not offering that escapism anymore. It's trying to do what movies did, and that's why like people stop going to movies, is because you don't feel that escapism anymore. You don't feel that wonder because it's lectures. That you're sitting in a lecture hall. And one thing that I think is super important that you have to remember, that you can have something that is just simple fucking fun, and it brings people in, and it's what's beautiful about this medium and about like entertainment in general is like the real world's boring, it's mundane, it sucks, and sometimes it's nice to just escape and get this great fucking release. It's that sweet release for a moment of time to fully immerse yourself into something And because of the hyper focus issues, that not really issues, but things that go along with autism, is like cool that they get it. They get it better than we do.
And as I mentioned earlier, offers them a community of like-minded individuals. Sonic isn't the only gaming franchise that works well for autistic people. Video games as a whole easily attract those with ASD because of their defined rules, lack of pressure, and a sense of control and belonging. Social interaction is important, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that those with ASD who just feel overwhelmed with communication in their surroundings will likely take a break and immerse themselves in video games from time to time, and find a comforting escape. Video games like Sonic the Hedgehog. And that is my explanation of the link between Sonic and autism. Remember, Sonic is...
I like that he's put these little fucking addendums in the video right here. I mean, you didn't need your webcam, buddy. This video is perfect without it. I have this thing where when I do videos sometimes, like my Friday videos. My Friday videos are my bread and butter. Those are my favorite thing that I make. My video game breakdowns. And sometimes I don't use a fucking face cam recording because I don't think it helps the video, and I don't think a face cam recording would have helped this video. I think that what the Sonic footage and the hyper focusing that you're getting from this quick gameplay, it's perfect. It's that perfect example of escapism, and I think that it adds more to the art.
Loved by millions around the world, not just those with ASD.
Dude, exactly. No one wants to be condescended to, especially not in the large demographic of video games. Exactly, dude. The problem is the condescending writing of today really makes it not fun anymore, and it just sucks, dude, because it's this thing that, like, you get off of a long day of work. Or you get off a long day of work, you spend time with your family, you've done all this thing, you've done everything that's important to get done, then you sit down to take an hour or a couple hour break from life just to have yourself some fucking me time, and then to be lectured? I mean, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, honestly. It's crap. Because, like, if I were to get my golf clubs and go golfing right now, dude, and then I was paired with somebody who wanted to tell me the whole time about, like, all the global issues, I'll be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Just let me golf. And then if they were to look at me and say, well, you're racist and we ban you from the golf course or something, I'd be like, why? Because I didn't want to listen to your bullshit? Because I didn't want you to tell me how superior or intellectually superior you are? Go fuck yourself, dude.
Like I said, his noticeable appeal to those with ASD made me curious, and I think it really shows just how quality and versatile of a series Sonic is. When it wants to be. Honestly, this one was pretty hard to make, as the intricacies of autism are still very complex. I found it challenging to put it all into words that make the video more than 7 minutes, but here we are. I did it. Hooray! I've also read that a certain individual you might know helped recognize the large number of autistic Sonic fans. I didn't want to get into that because I just want him gone from the Sonic history book. Look, if you know, you know. That's all I'll say.
It's fucking Christian! It's Christian! Christian's the most important Sonic fan to ever live. Don't you besmirch his name.
If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to like or subscribe.
Bro, shit on Christian, which is fair, but come on, man. Come on, man. We know some Sonichu. We know some Sonichu over in this realm of the internet, bro. You can't hide from Christian. He's intertwined with Sonic forever. He will always be intertwined with Sonic. It has happened. He's the most documented man on the internet. There is no getting away from him.
If you didn't, comment and tell me what you changed. Either way, it'd be fantastic and would help me out greatly. Thank you for watching.
Bro. Bro is hiding from Christian. What the fuck? Oh my god, bro. Chris got dealt a dirty card in life. I have no sympathy for him, but his parents should have never had kids. No, definitely. He was fucked from the very beginning, bro. He had absolutely no chance to... He was honestly just... he had no opportunities to do better. And then the fact that he was just kind of brute forced into the internet, it's kind of sad, bro. It's kind of big sad, dude, that he had to deal with that. But we have one more video. My boy Meat Canyon. We have Meat Canyon. He just released a horror. He's gonna release a horror manga or something. I'm interested because the one thing I've always thought about. Oops, sorry about the mic tap. My back itched. One thing I've always thought about with, especially with Creepcast coming out and how, hey Seymour, especially with like Creepcast and everything going on right now, like that they're doing. I thought that it would be really cool if Meat Canyon started making some like horror animations, because animations are already horror inspired. It would be nice to see him do some original material.
Hey you, are you tired of not being able to look up how to do CPR on your
So it's one of those things that it's just like, I think that these outlets right now that we have on YouTube, and what as a creator you have the opportunities to do after you've created and cultivated an audience, is just so cool. Like I've already started my thought process in drafting a story for if I were to make a video game. Ever since I stumbled upon Easy FPS Creator, I have decided that it's like it's possible for me to make a video game, and I want to do it. It's just I have to get better hardware, and I gotta get all this other stuff, and eventually I will do that. It's all about like the process to that. And with the small steady growth that I have experienced, not that every video I post is big or small or anything, but I like the fucking appreciation for people who watch my stuff and the love I have for you guys. I mean, some of my like moderators, like Seymour and fucking High Glowy that are in chat right now, like I've used one of High Glowy's songs in my videos. It'll be coming out like fucking a couple months from now, but I did use one of his songs for my thing. And one of the ones that he sampled, one of them the two of them he sampled from some other music, and I was worried they were gonna get copied, but I definitely used it for when I have my Flash of the Blade X video that'll come out eventually. But yeah, dude, it's just like the outreach and help from the community that you get from being a creator is super fucking cool, and there's nothing like it. Seymour like is one of the people in my community that's like, he has his own channel. He does tech stuff, and his tech advice is really helpful for me moving forward when I want to upgrade my PC so that I eventually can make it better. Like, this isn't them like coming out and reaching out and like getting me this stuff or anything. That's not like me sitting here, please fucking do this and I want to juice my community. No, that's just advice and contributions in other ways that's like creatively helping me be more inspired. And it's stuff that you get this from a community, and it's you don't get it anywhere else. It helps you be more creative if you're willing to let it help you be more creative. Now you could be sitting, I have an idea for a horror game, PDF Hunters. I mean, let's be a little careful with that. That's a cool game. You can make it, dude. Seymour, you really need to look into Easy FPS Creator. I think you would go fucking nuts for it. It's the most simple game engine out there. But it's one of those things that it's kind of nice to see this outreach from community that you get from this, because like you don't get that in Hollywood, and you have the chance and opportunity to miss out on that type of stuff by not looking out and building community as well. Like if you just go out here and shit and whine and complain like some of these commentary guys do, you'll end up sitting and just stagnating until one day you lose relevance.
Have you ever seen images so disturbing, so shocking, that it left you in absolute terror, misery, heartache, or disgust? Yeah, disgust.
I coded Unreal Engine and Unity. Wow, dude, you're fucking Chad behavior. This is fucking hilarious. I already like this.
Are you a fan of said imagery? Does it titillate you to your very core?
Well then perfect, because I just created my first horror manga, the Melvin Macabre compilation book. This is...
Dude, I fucking love the Melvin Macabre series too. If you haven't watched the Melvin Macabre series, it's probably the best thing he does. It's like there's another animator that's kind of similar to Me Canyon out there. I can't remember his name. We will watch his Space King video eventually on here because I hear it's good. But I love this series. I love Melvin as a character.
Is an actual 300-page horror manga that we made throughout the course of this year and last year over the Melvin Macabre episodes we've released so far, 1 through 4 that is. And it is awesome to see something tangible that you can flip through, but we have worked really hard to translate these episodes into something that is horrific and awesome, and that the art speaks for itself, and that it transcends the moving medium of animation, and it stands on its own.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm no Chad, but if you want to start with 2D, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with 2D art on when I do my game on Easy FPS Creator. I'm gonna start with 2D. I already have an idea of what I'm gonna do. I kind of talked about it on stream yesterday, but I'm a little disappointed. I'm gonna be real with you, me Cannon. I'm gonna be fucking real. I'm gonna get this fucking real for you, buddy. I'm disappointed in you. I'm bad. I like Melvin Macabre, but I wanted you to do something a little more original when you were gonna release a fucking manga. It just kind of feels like you're just redrafting your shit into other shit. All right. I mean, like, it's fair. I think it's cool that he is doing it in this format, but it's... Why? I thought you were doing something original, buddy. And I get that he's a busy guy. I get that he's got all this other shit going on, but I think that he has more. I think that he has more than this. I think he can do more, dude.
As like these awesome crispy black and white drawings, you know.
And don't, like, again, dude, I think every one of these Melvin Macabre, maybe we'll watch these on stream sometime. I would love to rewatch them, but I think that there's a lot of fucking good in this, dude. But I wanted more. I wanted you to do something a little more original. I wanted you to actually create a horror manga, like something deep and dark. And I mean, you have all of this background in horror and stuff. Why wouldn't you just create something new and fresh and really, like, you're making a manga? Why don't you create a fucking manga? This could have just been a normal cartoon. Like, it's a manga because manga's popular right now. Like, you could have just done a regular comic book, and that's a criticism, yeah, and I don't hate you. I think that this is still cool. I think that if you're a big fan of his, this is going to be very appealing, which I'm already fucking interested in it. But when I saw the cover, or the click, or not the click, it's not clickbait, but when I saw the title, I made a horror manga, I thought it was something new and original, and I wanted to see what he could do with horror, because I think horror is a very missed area of mangas, and I think that would have been cool to draft something like that.
Inspired by Kazuo Umezu and Junji Ito, and of course Hideshi Hino, which Melvin is heavily inspired by The Bug Boy, and a lot of his work, and how funny they are and how awesome that is. And I think I was in a place where I had just started collecting tons of Japanese horror manga. I mean, all over the place. Shit that I can't read Japanese. The art is so incredible, and the cartooning is so fascinating, and of course Junji Ito's storytelling is extremely compelling, especially for a short form horror content comedy dude like myself. It's just, I love it. I draw so much inspiration for it, and I just figured I would want something for my own bookshelf, and maybe other people would be interested as well. And this is a nice way to test the water here to see if people would be interested in other original horror comic stuff.
Yes. If you were to do something more original, I would fucking, and don't get me wrong, I really like this. I like that you're testing the waters. I think this is smart. I'm fully behind you, buddy. But I do want to see some more original stuff. I want you to, like, fully go into the dark assets of your mind and really fucking create something sadistic and beautiful. I think you have the ability to. I think that if you just said fuck it and went full throttle, I think you could create something absolutely insane, because you already do that. And I think that a lot of people who watch your stuff, it's one because of, like, the characters you drive from here on YouTube, but also I think it's the beauty of what you create is what people keep coming back to. It's why your Melvin series is so popular. And I think if you were to create, like, an original manga that was a little bit out of your wheelhouse normally, and just went with your crazy character creations, like the actual monster ones, instead of, like, your goofy character design, I think that you could create something insane, and I really want to see the potential of that.
Of manga, you know, and I am a filthy Westerner, so the pages go left to right.
Let's go, base. So it's just a comic book. It's not a manga. It's a comic book. That's what I was saying. It's a comic book. It's a fucking comic book. Dude, this is the thing. Like, comics were big in the U.S., like, for a long time. It's just manga's, like, the fucking mainstream now, so calling it a manga is better, but you made a comic book.
I love flipping through pages of books and being inspired by that. And even if you've read the book, I probably have read all of my comics and manga. I countless.
He's fucking funny, dude. Meat Canyon's one of my favorite creators on the platform, and don't think that I'm saying Playoff has worked vastly to improve Pokemon. Played to improve Pokemon in Power World and Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2. Yeah. But here's the thing, dude. I really like him as a person. I think that this is cool. I know that I'm sounding really critical, but it's coming from a place of love.
Times, but to just flip through them and enjoy the art again is always just such a fun experience, and I wanted to give that kind of experience to you. So I have a couple things to say. One, 300 pages, right? Beautiful. It's a thick book, right? Beat your daughter with it.
Let's go, dude. Child abuse based.
I'll say that. But what's inside of this 300-page book? Let me tell you, black and white gold, baby. This is full page horror artistry from some fine artists who helped me put this together, and they are amazing illustrators that came together to make this bad boy happen. Full page spreads. You'll turn pages and you'll gasp and gawk at how beautiful it is. It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Already it's gorgeous. And I'm fully like, I think you're getting something with this that you're not getting from the episodes themselves. Again, my criticism is just that it's coming from an episode and not coming from a place of originality, which is much harder to do, don't get me wrong, and it is safer to test the waters and try something like this out first before doing something else. So now that I know that once he said that he was going to then fucking try something in the future if this succeeds, I want this to succeed for him.
The quality of everything is so good, and also the cover feels nice. It's a nice hardback cover. Like I said, hit a kid with this thing, it's gonna hurt them. You can buy it right now at meatcanyon.store for $50. Let me tell you something, $50 kind of steep. I'm gonna be completely honest, right? This is a first round testing thing. I have no idea how many we're gonna sell. So for now, we have to charge more because I practically had to get on my hands and knees and suck to get this made. I'm not J.K. Rowling, all right? We're not selling 5,000s. We can produce these for 12 cents. So for right now, $50. That does include free shipping domestically. Woo! But sorry, if you live out of the States, don't know what to tell you, pay the troll toll if you want this book, all right? But I will say it's quality. It's really good. You'll be happy you got it. But also, this thing...
I honestly think this is worth picking up. I mean, just the cover alone is pretty gorgeous. I fucking like what he's doing here. I like when creators branch out and try new mediums.
Is pre-order, right? I need to know how many of these I'm supposed to make. So it's pre-order. So these will ship 8 to 10 weeks after the pre-order is over, which is January 1st. From now until January 1st, that's when these bad boys are available. This beautiful horror manga is available for you to purchase right now. It's in the pre-order. 8 to 10 weeks.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I hear like 8 to 10 weeks, bro, I'm like, I need it now. I need stuff now. I don't know. This is something I'm not sure if I would be getting it or not, but it is something I'm definitely interested in.
After the pre-order's done, okay? Just did a last one on my Papa Meat channel. I have a second channel over there. Did a merch drop. It's as if the devil opened up the earth and fucking killed these people. Where's my merch? Read the website. 8 to 10 weeks, I have to fucking make it. Right there, I can't just snap my fingers and they're made. I just want to share this with you all. I'm very excited about it. I want to just say thank you as well to everyone who liked the new Melvin episode. It was very heartwarming. I'm glad you guys liked it a lot, and it made it promoting this feel even better.
Dude, I think his Melvin series is the best thing he does on his channel. He does like the XQC and all the other stuff, and I'm glad that if you were gonna make a manga, it wasn't just like YouTuber ones he's done or the fucking pop culture references he's done. It's the Melvin series because I think it's the most original thing he does do, and I feel like my criticism earlier kind of calling it unoriginal was kind of bullshit, and it's not really bullshit. I still stand by that fact, but I do think it's cool that he did it off of his most original character, because like the character you can honestly tell is partially based off of him, but with the inspirations of that other thing. Now if he takes offense to that, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. It's funny.
Better, and I love this character. I love horror storytelling, comedy, and this is just a great way to do that again. And with this, it's going to be a good barometer as well to see, like, you know, in the future, is there horror books, is there horror comics, more manga to be made? So if you're interested and want to support the channel and have just a cool piece of art, feel free to pick up this book. It will be available 8 to 10 weeks.
after the first.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, dude, go. I think if you like Meat Canyon and you like fucking comic books or manga, definitely go pick this up. I think, I know the creators kind of get a little bit of flack right now because of like their fucking creations that they put out, like fucking Lunchly and Prime and Feastables and all this other fucking garbage. But when it's actually a creative endeavor and not something just made to slop out money into their fucking bank accounts, like obviously they're doing this for a profit. Nobody's doing anything for free. Like even me making this channel, why I do this channel is eventually I want it to be successful and I want to make money off of it. But I do it also because I have passion behind what I'm doing. Every one of my game reviews, though they're short and kind of shitty sometimes because I make one a fucking week like a goddamn gooner. I do also have a lot of passion behind it, and I want to do more, and I want to keep growing as an artist, but I also want to see eventually this be a like successful endeavor, and I think that's the same way for Meat Canyon right here. Is he's doing this, one is a creative venture, and then two is like if it's successful, he can branch out in other mediums, and that's I think is way cooler than just fucking shoving out a shitty Gatorade copy or a shitty candy bar. Like, I don't know. I think this is cool. I think it's cool. If you are a big Meat Canyon fan, I think you're fucking hyped about this. I want to see this succeed because I think that he could make some really good horror novels. I think that if him and Wendigoon really collabed on a project and wrote a story, I think they could create something really profound, utilizing some of the horror that they've already slopped through. I think that they could really do something really cool, and I would love to see a collaboration between them on a story behind like a manga or something. It would be cool to see. I think that this is cool. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do have to go. I have to fucking leave you. I have to fucking go and leave you forever. Nah, just kidding. I don't have to fucking leave you forever. I have to fucking, like, I have to cream on a pussy. I have to cream on a pussy. I have to